What's up, everyone? It's Sports Kings Best here, and we're back with another alternate reality video. This time we're going to be doing the alternate reality of if Greg Oden never got injured. In 2007 to 2008, Greg Oden's stats would be 15.9 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game, 2.1 blocks per game, and 57% from the field. The team record would be 9th in the West, 48-34. Coming off a dominant year at Ohio State, Greg Oden hit the ground running. LaMarcus Aldridge and Brandon Roy growing into stars in their own right. There weren't a ton of shots to go around, but Greg Oden would make the most of his opportunities. On the offensive end, while being the same defensive force he was in Columbus. Greg Oden's well-rounded two-way impact is celebrated by players and analysts alike, but Kevin Durant's 20 points per game season gives him a narrow edge in the Rookie of the Year race, making it one of the most controversial in recent memory. As a team, the Trailblazers show tremendous growth, finishing the year with a 48-34 record. Unfortunately, every single Western Conference playoff team wins 50 games, and Portland misses the playoffs. Nonetheless, Portland is buzzing at the thought of what their NBA future looks like, even after being robbed of the Supersonics. In 2008 to 2009, Greg Oden's stats would be 18.2 points per game, 10.5 rebounds per game, 2.3 blocks per game, and 55% from the field. The team record would be 3rd in the West, 56-26. With the Supersonics bailing to OKC, the entire PNW rallies around the young Blazers. In the second year of Portland's young Big Three, Oden, Roy, and Aldridge all take massive steps forward. Greg Oden and Brandon Roy form a deadly inside-out duo, while LaMarcus Aldridge and Oden form one of the best NBA's front courts. Greg Oden himself sees the offensive game grow, but his willingness to defer and play within the role keeps his numbers from ballooning. Defensively, he has already grown into a star. He just barely misses his first All-Star selection and makes the all-defensive second team. The Trailblazers ride this growth to the 3rd seed and defeat the Dallas Mavericks in round 1 as Greg Oden controls the glass and makes life difficult for Dirk Nowitzki. In round 2, Portland wins a 7-game series against Denver, thanks to some late-game heroics from Roy. And unfortunately, the young Blazers run into Kobe's revenge tour. They lose in 6 games, but the league have been put on notice. In the 2009-2010 season, Greg Oden's stats would have been 20.8 points per game, 12.3 rebounds per game, 2.5 blocks per game, and 56% from the field. The team record would be 5th in the West with a 53-29 record. Greg Oden and the Blazers enter the season with sky-high expectations and start the season blazing hot. Brandon Roy maintains his All-NBA form, and Greg Oden ascends to new heights, becoming a bona fide All-NBA talent in his own right, making the 2nd team while Roy makes the 3rd team. Sadly, late in the season, disaster strikes. Roy tears his meniscus, resulting in late-season surgery. Without their star guard, the Trailblazers stumbled down the stretch, falling to the 5th seed despite winning 53 games. They draw a round 1 matchup with Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets in a highly anticipated rematch. Brandon Roy recovers just in time to play, but it's clear from Game 1 that he's not the same Brandon Roy. Leans on their front court, and they show up. LaMarcus Aldridge averages an efficient 20 points and 12 boards, while Oden gives the Blazers 26 points, 13 boards, and 3 blocks per game. Unfortunately, Carmelo gets his revenge, and Denver wins in 6. In the 2010 to 2011 season, Greg Oden's stats would be 23.7 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game, 2.8 blocks per game, and 54% from the field. The team record would be 6th in the West, with a 50-32 record. The next year, Brandon Roy's injuries only worsened. He'd only start 23 games for them throughout the season. Thankfully, after last year's playoff series, the Blazers are more than comfortable playing through their front court. Greg Oden is leaned on heavily and produces career-high averages across the board. While maintaining his efficiency, he wins his first Defensive Player of the Year on top of being named All-NBA First Team for the first time. They'd win 50 games for the 3rd year in a row, but settle for the 6th seed and face a similar foe in the Dallas Mavericks. They'd go up 2-0 to start the series, and the media is all ready to crown Greg Oden the next great center. However, Dirk Nowitzki is on a mission this time. On the back of his dominance, the Mavs come back and win in 7 games, in what is remembered as one of the best round 1 series of all time. In the 2011-2012 season, Greg Oden's stats would have been 24.1 points per game, 11.8 rebounds per game, 2.5 blocks per game, and 52% from the field. The team record would be 7th in the West, 36-30. By the way, this is the lockout season. In 2012, the bottom falls out. Brandon Roy's injuries continue to escalate, essentially ending his career. At the same time, the ever-reliable LaMarcus Aldridge finally suffers from some bad injury luck of his own, as a foot injury limits him to around 30 games that season. And Greg Oden's dominance continues, making an All-NBA First Team again, and solidifying himself as the league's best center. At the same time, a young French forward by the name of Nicolas Batum grows into a reliable and versatile young wing. Portland battles their way to the 7th seed in a lockout-shortened season. Aldridge still nursing his foot injury, and Brandon Roy no longer in the picture. They stand no chance against a young OKC team in an incredibly painful series for the Pacific Northwest. For the first time since Greg Oden's arrival, the future in Portland seemed uncertain. In the 2012-2013 season, Greg Oden would be averaging 25.2 points per game, 13.1 points per game, or 25.2 points per game, 13.1 rebounds per game, 2.2 blocks per game, and 55% from the field. The team record would be first in the West, 61-21. That summer, Portland made the biggest move of the free agency period. New Jersey point guard Deron Williams was in search of a new home. Recognizing the potential in Rip City, Williams signed with the Trailblazers. Almost immediately, Williams and Oden formed one of the league's deadliest pick-and-roll duos. As Aldridge came back even better than before, with LaMarcus Aldridge dragging opposing power forwards away from the basket, the Williams-Oden pick-and-roll became even more difficult to defend. Greg Oden strengthened his grip on the first-team center spot, finishing second in MVP voting that season. They breezed past Houston in the round one, before defeating the grit-and-grind Grizzlies in a grueling 6-game series, where Oden particularly shone. They took down the rejuvenated Spurs in 7 hard-fought games before falling to the Heat in 6 in NBA Finals. On the precipice of greatness, Portland fell once again. In the 2013-2014 season, Greg Oden's stats would have been 26.3 points per game, 13.3 rebounds per game, 2.4 blocks per game, and 57% from the field. Team record would be second in the West with a 58-24 record. The following season was all business for Portland. They coasted the regular season as Oden's offensive game grew, even more refined. Greg Oden made the first team All-NBA and wins his first MVP award, while Portland secures the second seed with 58 wins. After defeating a young Golden State team in round one, Portland meets OKC in a heated playoff series. Both arenas are rocking each game, and home court advantage plays a huge role. However, in Game 7, Greg Oden proves too much to handle, scoring 40 points and grabbing 20 rebounds, willing the Blazers to a win. Portland rides the emotional momentum of that win all the way to the finals, where they meet Miami once more, this time with Dwayne Wade having lost a step. Greg Oden and Deron Williams overpower the Heat, winning the series in a 6-game and bringing Rip City its first championship since Bill Walton. As the confetti falls, all the big man can do is hold that friendly smile that Portland has fallen in love with. So this is the alternate reality if Greg Oden never got injured. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, comment what videos you guys want next, and I will see you guys next week.